to Geek Weekly, everything geek speak. We will geek all over your face.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
yeah, just all over it.
Just right up in that. Right up in the
Yeah.
nostrils, actually. That'd be a good idea. That'd
Yeah.
be a bad idea.
My name is Chad Moores, and this is my friend right here, Jeremy,
Mm.
our other host.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're starting. Here we go.
We're ready, man. Are we live streaming this or no?
No, we're not live streaming.
This one's not a live stream.
Okay,
That's good.
so
to know.
let's talk about that actually for a quick
with that.
second.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not going to be live streaming for quite a long time.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, it was a lot of preparation to
Okay.
go with doing that, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
No, I mean we didn't
had
really
some
have
guests, some
any.
viewers
We
last
had a
time.
couple, but it wasn't worth it at that time, and it
Okay.
also isn't really doing anything for us financially.
Right. Well, I think a live stream would be great if we can get at people that would be interested in maybe calling in or writing.
Right,
while
Q
we're
and A's
there.
and stuff like that.
definitely
Yeah,
would be a
maybe
good
even
idea
doing
for that
these
stuff.
Skype calls.
I agree with that.
There's a right, exactly. Now, as you can see, we have a new setup here. Yes, we do. As you can see, we have this lovely television over here that even shows our Geek Weekly. Look at that. That's actually
bad.
done. That's done by my friend Brendan, who's right behind the camera over there.
Yep. We've heard
Yeah.
Brendo on some.
Oh yeah,
This
he's
is
popped in every once in a while. You hear
Yeah.
his voice every once in a while, and yeah. So I mean, we're trying something different, trying a little bit more relaxed. This feels better, and you can see you're seeing.
I am very comfortable. I'll give you that.
It's nice. It's a comfy couch.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable couch.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
have
nice.
to get one of these for my house.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a little short though. I would like to have it for 3 people or 4 or 5. And
I
it's
don't know,
really
man.
only
This
like a
would be
2-person.
It's not bad though.
Yeah.
It'd be good for geeking all over someone's face.
Oh,
Right?
that probably.
Probably would be good for that. You would
Yeah.
probably know more than I would because this is your couch. So.
Okay. Well, okay. So we're going off of that.
So moving on.
Yeah, and another thing that I think is going to be kind of cool is that eventually we're going to want to do some Skype calls off of here.
Oh yeah,
Because we can do that
You can
with
do a video off of that. That'd be
yeah,
kinda
we
cool.
can do because I have an Apple Television and we can use the laptop and have like a Skype call. So if you guys remember Alyssa, we will be seeing her again soon, probably via Skype. She'll probably be our first Skype chat someday.
Ah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
her come in and just be on the screen next to us and kind of chit chatting
bad.
away with
Not
what we're
bad.
talking about.
So what are we getting started with tonight? I think we should start with updates on life.
Updates on life. You know
As
what?
per usual.
I agree with you. I actually had a birthday.
What?
I had a birthday.
When did you have a birthday?
Well, you threw the party, so you should
Wait
remember.
a minute, yeah, but that was like before this.
I know, but we didn't
last
talk
one.
about it.
Oh,
last
okay, I'm
time.
like,
and I wanted to talk.
You can't
about
have another birthday.
I had a second birthday within a 2-month radius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, no, your birthday party was awesome. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I'm glad you threw it for
Went
me.
out dancing.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
how I dance.
And I actually, I had 2 kind of birthday get-togethers because I had it with my family and I had it with my friends. And
Yeah.
the one that you were with was obviously for my friends. And then I had my family one that my mother organized, and I wasn't even allowed to. I didn't even know it was happening until Brendan said, "Oh, so I guess we're having your birthday thing on Sunday." I go, "We are?"
Oh, good.
No, it wasn't even a surprise.
Yeah.
It was just that I wasn't invited.
Ah.
Everyone else was invited.
Now you know how
and
I
I was
feel.
just assuming. They just assumed that I would just show up
Okay.
without even having any kind of knowledge of it happening.
So, for our viewers, let's just discuss how you had me throw your party. Okay.
Okay.
So his party, he wants to throw a birthday on a Friday. So on Monday, he sends me a Facebook message. Hey, Jeremy, what are you doing on Friday? I'm like, well, I usually go out with some friends. Why? What's up? Well, my birthday party's on Friday. I think you should come to it. I said, okay, what are we doing? I don't know, Jeremy. I think you should throw that for me. Oh, perfect. You just invited me to a party that I now have to throw for you. I appreciate that. I mean, in fairness, I do a lot of planning and gathering and stuff, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. It was
Yeah,
a good
not too
night,
bad.
too. It was a good night.
Yeah, no,
we
it
ended up
was.
going out, drinking, dancing, breakfast, 2 in the morning. Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Give me 1 second.
all right, I'm giving you 20 seconds.
Sorry about that. Unfortunately, we had a little technical difficulty. I wanted to just figure it out before anything else. So so you did throw my birthday
I
party.
did throw your birthday party, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a good crowd, too. How many people did you bring with you?
I think altogether there's about 15 of us.
Yeah, I
all
brought about
together.
6 with me.
Yeah.
And then you showed up.
So there might have
and-
been more than that. It might have been about 20 people.
Yeah, and we went a lot earlier. I mean, now, I usually frequent those bars on Friday nights with my friends Sim and Katie, and we usually go at like 11:30 at night. We haven't actually been down there as early as we went, and we went at like 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
right? Which isn't that late, which isn't that early, but we get down there and there's nobody on the dance floor. And you came up to me at one point, and Tammy came up to one point where you guys were like, What's going on, Jeremy? I thought you said it was like bumping, and I was like, I don't know. Give it another hour, it'll be fine. Let's just drink in the meantime. So by the time we actually were starting to dance, we were all hammered, which was even better.
Yeah,
and then
I know,
breakfast
and it was
tasted
a
better
great
as a
time.
result.
Yeah, I know, and it was a great time. So thank you for organizing that.
Yep.
So now that I had like my family thing, the one really cool. I mean, I actually really enjoyed it because I got to see a lot of my family that I don't get to see quite
Very
often.
nice.
Than some people that I'd see like every day.
Yeah.
You know, but one thing that I really loved for my birthday was that someone made me a cake.
Oh, who made you a cake?
My sister-in-law, my sister Jane's
Very
wife.
nice.
Yeah. Now, Brendan, can you flip that over for me? This is what it is.
Chocolat.
It's right here.
Oh, look at you. Look at you all Supermaned out.
Yeah.
That is nice.
She made me that. And it was a delicious cake, actually.
I believe it.
And you know what?
What
Funny
kind of
enough-
cake was it?
Chocolate.
Nice.
Yeah, last year she made me a cake, too. She makes me cakes like every year for my birthday, which
Yeah?
is just so nice. We also had it at her apartment, too.
Yeah? That's
At her condo,
fantastic.
sorry. And yeah, so I loved it. I thought it was great tasting. It was actually really hard to cut into. Didn't really want to.
It's emotionally scarring. for you
It
to cut
was.
into
I
that.
mean, I mean, come on. I didn't
Right.
want to harm Superman, even
Yeah.
the symbol. It felt like
How did you feel when you opened it up and you realized there was a black person in there? Chocolate, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Would have thrown me for a loop too. I would have expected vanilla, but you know, whatever.
all right. Well, all right.
He's
so
just gonna move on from now on. He
yeah,
doesn't have
I'm
an
not
answer.
even. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's basically. Do you have anything about updates on it?
Well, yeah. Okay, so I guess since we're discussing some stuff, I don't know if I did this or not, but I went to Foxwoods
I saw some videos
a
on
couple
that.
weeks ago. Yeah, that was a really good time. We only went for a couple of days. About 4 days before that, I sprained my ankle severely, and so I was in a cast throughout the Foxwoods trip. But don't think that stopped me. I still danced. I still ran. I
Yeah,
still
and nothing
bowled.
stops him. He still has a swollen ankle, and we were out at a karaoke bar on Friday.
Friday night,
which
yeah,
was only
that was amazing.
about 4 days ago.
Yep.
And he was dancing like a madman while he was while he was singing at the karaoke machine.
Yep.
Or even when other people were singing, he was up there dancing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. It's like you only get to be young once. You know, when I'm 60 and I sprain my ankle like that, I'll be out and I won't be able to move. But for now, you know, you gotta just get through the pain. You
Yeah,
know?
no, and I totally agree with you.
Going, so.
I totally agree, and I that was a great time, dude.
It's been a trying couple weeks, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, and that ankle, I mean, it looks horrible. And
It really does.
if we had the picture, I probably would have put it up, but I really didn't want to figure
Yeah.
it out halfway through once we
Plus,
were already
people might have
started.
thrown up. It's you know
Yeah,
try to kind of.
We'll
It was
spare
pretty
you.
bad. It
We'll
was pretty
spare you. But you know what? Maybe next time when we're recording, maybe we'll put something up there.
Yeah. So the night that I actually sprained it, I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, and.
We
I
were
go into
supposed
the
to do a
hospital
podcast,
and
weren't
yeah, we were supposed to do a podcast the next night, but I wasn't able to move.
we? Yeah.
I was immobile, so
Yeah. So it didn't
You know.
happen.
yeah. So anyway, so I had sprained my ankle, and I went to the doctor's office because I went home. And at the moment, I'm living with my parents. And if I wasn't living with my parents, I never would have went to the doctor's. But I go home and I'm like limping, and my mother looks at me and she goes, "Jeremy, what's wrong?" I'm like, "I just gotta go to bed. I got a sprained ankle. You know, I'll just gotta go to bed and I'll sleep it off." And she goes, "Let me look at it." And I was like, "Ah, crap." I knew immediately when she looked at it that she was going to freak out. So she looks at it, and my ankle is like this at that point.
He was humongous. He's not even exaggerating.
Yeah, and I'm not
on that.
exaggerating
Not
at all.
even
It was literally... So she's like, "Jeremy, we're going to the hospital." And I was like, "I really don't need to, though. I can just limp my way downstairs. I'll be fine. I can use one leg." No, she was not having it. So we go to the hospital, and we get there, and then the doctor, who looked at it, he looks at me and goes, "How did you do this?" And I hurt myself playing ping pong, of all things. And the doctor looks at me and goes, "You were playing ping pong?" And he goes, "Yes, I was playing extreme ping pong, apparently, and it worked very well." He literally high-fived me, put me in a cast, and then sent me on my way. It was a good night. It was a good night, yeah. So, yeah.
That is a good
I
time.
would like to say that after I sprained my ankle as bad as I did, I still walked it off. I still played ping pong for, like, probably another 10 minutes, and then my foot really started to swell. And then I just went to play darts, and I won darts. Then I went to play
Nice.
pool, and I won pool. So it was still a good night. I still won that night. You know? Not a bad night.
It's crazy what you do, my
I
friend.
know. I know. I
You
just never
amaze me.
stop. Can't stop.
I'm very attracted to you right now.
Wow.
All right,
that.
enough.
He's gonna geek all over my face.
I bringing it back. Bringing it back.
All right. So what's up? What are we doing now?
All right, so the next thing that we actually have is our top 6.
Top 6. That's per usual. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, this is a good one. This is
What
a
is
really
it
good
today,
one.
Chad?
It's top 6 Marvel and DC animated films.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and
Yes.
there's some really good ones. So actually, let's Brendan, could you do me a favor and just swipe that for me? Let's see what's on first. Superman Unbound.
Oh, dude, did you see this one? I haven't
Yeah.
seen this one yet.
No, it's actually very, very good. And
Yeah?
you don't see Brainiac for a long time because Brainiac has really been Lex Luthor just takes over a lot. So does the
Yeah.
Joker. You know what I mean? And to see Brainiac back, and I thought, and it also being a PG-13 movie, it was a really, really good movie. And it had to do with Supergirl just coming back to Krypton, not to Krypton, but to
To Earth.
yeah, just coming to Earth for the first time and only being there for a little while, and then her talking about her city getting taken away by Brainiac, if you remember, and then and then Brainiac comes and starts to try to do the same thing with Earth,
Right.
and it's really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Now, there's a lot of other Superman movies that I
He
could have
looks like he
picked.
might be pretty dark in this film. Is he a darker character in this film than he usually is, or is he still Superman?
He's still Superman.
He's still Superman because
Yeah.
this like he looks badass right here. He's like,
Yeah, no,
he
that's a
looks
great
angry as
cover.
hell.
It's a great cover, and
I thought that it was
it's
gonna be
actually
like
it's a pretty
really-
good movie. It's not now. I haven't seen the other Superman movies in a while, so I really didn't want to pick something that I wasn't really well versed on.
Yeah.
But I did. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think it was one of their better Superman ones because, like, the worst one would definitely have to be Death of Superman, Superman Doomsday,
Yeah.
which is the first
It was
animated
okay,
film
but
that
it
they
wasn't
did with the
great.
PG-13.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they obviously have done other DC animated movies, but it didn't really start happening until that one happened. It was
Right.
and it was also the first PG-13 one, and going from there. And I thought it was horrible. I saw it. I was so excited about it because I was, Superman, me, and I was
Superman
like, yes! Oh my god!
What? You're
And they even
Superman?
had.
You see
And-
this behind me here?
Yeah, there's mostly Superman, and then we have like a little thing of other stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to make it.
I'm just
little
not a fan
sprucer.
of that movie though overall. Huh?
It was okay. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It just
But
wasn't.
this one you'd recommend?
Yeah, no,
Dude,
I
I'm
thought it
waiting
was
for it
really
to come
good.
out on Netflix because they always release these on Netflix after
Yeah,
a while.
they do,
and I'm just
usually.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it was really good, and it's not on Netflix yet, but I'm hoping soon. The other one that I really liked was I also like the Superman Batman movies,
Yeah.
and now that I think about it, I probably would have chosen one of those. I like Public Enemies.
Public Enemies. You know what's cool about that was they actually his goal was to draw the characters in the same way that he drew them when he was writing the comic.
Right.
So they've got like the heavy abs and like the
Yeah.
the skin tight outfits, whereas you usually don't get that in these films. They usually are
No.
much less
Right.
detailed because it's harder to animate. But in that one, they actually kept that outfit and they kept the.
I think my favorite part of that Public Enemies is when Batman was getting attacked out in public, and like all of his a lot of his enemies that you don't really usually ever see
Yeah.
unless it's like a Superman animated series or
Yeah.
in comic books.
Yeah.
They're all just swarming around him. That was so. I was like, oh my god! I loved that part. I totally geeked out on that one.
That was
It
a great. Dude, that film overall was awesome because you got that from Batman and Superman. They
Yeah.
saw all the villains.
It also had
It was just
Darkseid,
like-
didn't it?
Yeah. No.
No,
Darkseid was
no.
the other one with
that was the
Supergirl.
other. Yeah, okay. But I did
Yeah.
like that one too.
That was
I
good
do
too.
like the Batman Superman movies because they're pretty good. They've been doing pretty well with the movies lately. The ones that I really hate, and that we're gonna move on to the top 6, but the movies that I thought were actually absolutely horrible was Justice League: New Frontier. I thought
Okay.
was
I haven't seen that one yet.
horrible.
I'm not
Don't
really
even bother.
attracted to Justice League. So.
Don't even bother. It was really bad.
Yeah?
I hated it. Yeah, I thought the animation was really cool because it was very classic, like 1950s.
Yep.
Like it was really, and then it had like the old costumes that they had from
Okay.
the New Frontier, like comic book,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
remember, and all that stuff. But it was just absolutely horrible. And then, and I thought that the Green Lantern First Flight was, no, not First
I haven't
Flight.
seen that one either.
First Flight was actually, it wasn't bad. It was the one they did like a chronicles of like other Green Lanterns.
Yeah, it's like a mishmash kind of thing. Like they
Yeah.
did with the Batman a while back, and like
Yeah.
with the Matrix series.
It was
and-
really bad.
Yeah?
It was
This
really
wasn't
bad.
great.
Yeah, it
That's
was
fair.
horrible. All right, so let's move on. Brendan, flip that. There you go. All right, so we're on to you.
Ooh, Hulkverse. All right, I'm pretty excited about this. This is probably one of my favorites as far as the Marvel animations go.
I've seen this.
Because you have seen this. Have you seen them both? The Hulkverse Thor and Hulkverse Wolverine. Because what they actually did was after they came out with this initially, when the Hulk movie came out, when they relaunched the Wolverine this year,
Yeah.
and then when they relaunched the Thor movies, they released these as separate films. So they released just the Hulk vs. Wolverine.
Yeah,
and
but
just
they're
the Hulk
very
vs.
short
Thor.
films. That
Yeah, they're
seems
only
very
like 45
silly.
minutes each.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't even know that the first one had come out, so they were like, "Oh,
I think
this
they're
is
even
going to be awesome."
shorter
I'll
than
pick it up.
that.
Yeah.
It
No,
was-
they're like 45.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's an hour and a half film.
Oh,
overall.
okay. I felt like it was shorter than that. But no, I mean, it was the...
It is a shorter series.
Yeah.
So my favorite out of these two is definitely the Wolverine one.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's based on the introduction of Wolverine. The issue, I think it's 171.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Maybe it's 181. 181 is correct, I think.
Okay.
181. So anyways, the Hulk 181 is the one where he gets introduced.
Yep.
And what they do is they take Wolverine and they put him in the Canadian wilderness, okay? And they launch him to go after the Hulk.
Yeah.
So they basically drop him from a helicopter and they say, look, it's you versus Hulk. One of you two is going to come out alive. And we need
I
it to
remember
be...
this. It was so good.
And what's great about this, if you see this outfit right here,
Yeah.
that's his original
I
costume
know.
from when he was
They
originally
don't-
introduced.
Yeah, I know. And it's so funny because they don't use that
They
costume.
never use that costume.
And I
anymore.
love that costume.
Yeah, that's a cool costume.
I think it's
And
really
it's got
good.
the lines here. It's just
Yeah.
it's a very awesome. And I mean, you know what's great about this too? You've got Deadpool in this one.
Yeah.
Deadpool makes himself a little role, and then you've got because he's with the Canadian group that he was with before he was with X-Men in this.
Yeah.
And it's not the exact group, but it's got like well, it has Deadpool. That's the most important one.
Well, yeah,
And
Deadpool's...
he's just fantastic,
Yeah.
and he's very much like what Deadpool should be in this film. Very sort of candid and funny and breaking the fourth wall and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Very, very well done. And then you've got the Hulk vs. Thor. And the Hulk vs. Thor is actually a really interesting one too, because what happens is Bruce Banner and the Hulk get separated.
Yeah.
So now it's just pure Hulk being and then Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing that would take down the Hulk before would be like when he calms down, he could turn into Bruce Banner, so eventually he, no more Hulk.
Yeah.
But now it's just the Hulk, and the Hulk like beats the fucking shit out of Thor, man. He takes him out. It is
Yeah.
insane. And then while they're doing a fight, Bruce Banner's trying to get them to reconnect, and then I mean that one was really good too. It's a really good action series.
Yeah, I
you
thought
know?
it had a good story to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was mostly action. I'd have to say.
Yes.
I mean, action packed.
Action-packed
Both
film.
short films are very action packed, but I thought that the story was also very intriguing.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have liked to see them as longer films.
Yeah,
See
I
if
would
they
too.
could have done. I mean, maybe.
We'll get it. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
Because you know what, we're coming out with new movies, and every time they come out with a new movie, there's usually an animated movie to sort of go right beside it. So
Yeah. Well, they also. Yeah, that's true. They
so
always
this year
do.
we might get a new Captain America. We got a Thor 2 years ago. We got
Yeah.
the Thor, the Tales of Asgard,
Dark-
which is one of
yeah.
the ones I'm talking about. That was
Yeah.
like a young Thor version. It was decent,
Yeah.
but you know,
I
so we'll
wasn't.
probably get a
I
Captain
wasn't
America.
crazy about it actually.
No.
No.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of neat to see them in a different sort of setting, and they're younger than 15, 16
Yeah.
years old. It's cool
Yeah.
to see that sort of
Yeah.
setting on that. So
That just reminds me of Rugrats all grown up.
yeah,
All grown up.
nice.
You were too old for that,
I
weren't you?
saw it, but I wasn't huge into it.
Well, did you watched Rugrats,
I was
right? You were
big
into
into
Rugrats?
Rugrats.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
course, everybody
I was
watched
too.
Rugrats.
But you remember, I think that the only time I ever really liked the all grown up stuff was when it was just that 1 hour special that they did.
Yeah,
when
I
it was
liked the
there.
special, but then the show just got terrible. I saw a couple
Yeah.
episodes and I was like, this is.
Yeah, the show was horrible.
nonsense.
The show,
Yeah.
all grown up, was horrible.
Yeah.
The Rugrats never got bad. I don't think, and maybe until like the last season, but I never watched the last season. But it ran for 16, 17 years.
Fun fact: Tommy Pickles is based off the Doctor in Doctor Who. Swear to God. Think about this, okay? He is he has companions, okay?
Yeah,
Right? In one of the episodes where he's in a toy store,
yeah.
there's actually Daleks in the toy store. Okay? He likes to dress up and he likes to go on all these fantastic adventures.
Yeah.
And what's his trusty sight? What's his trusty
It's a
weapon?
screwdriver,
Screwdriver. That's right. Tommy Pickles was based off the Doctor.
That's pretty cool.
How
Did you
is that?
figure that out yourself?
No, I didn't figure that out myself. I read it somewhere.
That would have been pretty
But
cool if
it's
you did.
fucking awesome, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
awesome.
pretty amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Yes.
Ooh,
Okay.
This is a fantastic film.
This is one of my favorite.
quintessential
No,
films.
it's not. Like, I was really gonna go strictly for the DC PG-13 ones that they were doing, like the series that started with Superman Doomsday, and
Yep.
now was the last one that they just came out with, which I haven't watched yet, but I can't wait to watch it. Is Justice League. It's something about something war.
This is a Flashpoint that they just came out with.
Flashpoint, but there's another one that just
They
came
just
out.
came out with another one?
Yeah, it came out, like, I
DC
think-
ever going to stop? They just
No, they just come out with them every 3 months.
They're
every
releasing
3 to
their
6 months.
animated films like Marvel's releasing their actual films. Every 4 months.
No, seriously. Yeah. But anyway, so let's go back to this movie.
Yeah.
And I picked this because I had to. I mean, it has.
Yeah, dude. This first of all, the series was fantastic.
It was
This-
a great series.
This movie was awesome. This movie was great.
I think the best thing about
You
the
know?
series itself is that they brought back Bruce and the guy who plays the voice of Bruce from the original Batman animated series, who comes back and plays Batman in many, many, many of the movies and games and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And they had like an older voice for him, which I thought was really awesome. And then having Mark Hamill come and play the Joker's voice again just for this, and at that time,
Yeah, it was neat because you got. Well, Mark Hamill was not. He at that time he was stayed with the Joker. He was very much like that. He's always been sort of outside of Star Wars. He's always been behind the camera. He doesn't like really coming out on screen.
Yeah,
it's very rare you can get him to do that. But he like dominated the Joker. You know, and then Kevin Conroy playing as Batman was fantastic. You know, and I think Kevin Conroy would still play Batman if he was offered. Like he still plays him in the Batman games. Mm-hmm. But I think Mark Hamill's done with the Joker.
And I think he kind of probably followed.
Yeah, he's definitely done at this point. But this was just, I mean, this was him at his prime, no question about it. You know?
This was a great one. Yeah. And if you have never seen this, I highly suggest it. The story is absolutely amazing. It takes place in the Batman Beyond series, which was, taken into the future, where Batman is much older and he's retired and he's just too old to be doing this stuff. So then this new guy, his name is Terry McGinnis.
Yep.
McGinnis. Yeah, I was right. Wow, look at me. Well, it's a great show. I can't not remember those names, you know?
Yeah, I go through that show every year.
Right.
No question.
Oh, I do. I really do.
Actually, out of the entire series of all of the
Tim Bruce movies, Tim Bruce cartoons.
Out of all of those, this series is the one I go through every year.
And it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. I actually always, what I do is that after I watch that, I always go to my Justice League Unlimited and watch the episode that he's back in it.
Nice.
And get the tie-up, because it got canceled. The show got canceled. Which after 3 seasons, it's one of the best cartoons ever created, and it got canceled after 3 seasons, which was horrible. Absolutely horrible decision. And they, for Justice League Unlimited, they actually brought Batman Beyond back for just one episode, and you kind of tied him up a little bit, very little.
No,
but
definitely.
still enough to. It was a nice surprise when I saw him walk on screen, and I was like, oh. And Static Shock was there too, which I wasn't really crazy about Static Shock, but I liked him. But it was
a decent show.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But
favorite part about this movie, because we actually haven't discussed this almost at all.
I know. Well, it's hard because Batman Beyond is just so good. You could talk about. We could talk about
Batman Beyond forever, definitely.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite part about the movie?
Oh, favorite part. Probably when Bruce finds out that it's the Joker. When he's like listening to the thing, and all of a sudden it's like voice match, and he goes, and because for me, I was like, it's not the Joker. It's not the Joker. And then I'm like, oh my God, it is the Joker. Because I knew, like, obviously it was the same voice, but like I thought it was just, but right then and there, you're like, oh my God, this movie's going to be amazing.
Yep.
I have no idea how it's the Joker.
I loved how they figured out, like, when they showed who the Joker was.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing. Cause
it's a great
he's too
story.
old. He couldn't come back.
Right.
But in this, they figure out a way to get him back to be him. He's still youthful.
Yeah.
You know, he's not old like
he's
Batman
running around
is.
and jumping,
oh,
and just the same
amazing.
antics.
Amazing.
And I love that story too. Oh, I think that's probably my favorite part of the movie was when they showed how he became how I don't want to give it away.
That's okay.
Yeah, but how this specific person
watch
becomes
this
the
film.
Joker.
Watch this
Just
film.
watch it.
And
watch it. End of story. Let's move on.
Unbelievable. Unreal. Ooh, Ultimate Avengers. So, this sort of started the Marvel cartoons. You know, this was done well before the Avengers movie that came out, what was it, 2 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
Jesus, can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, this happened way before, and this is actually based on the Ultimate series of the Avengers, which was the Ultimates. There was an Ultimate ongoing series that Marvel launched when X-Men came out. Okay, and it had like Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, and then they had the Ultimates, which were Marvel's version of the Avengers in their alternate universe. And these characters were very, very interesting because a lot of them have problems that you don't really see as much in the common comics, you know. Right. So, for example, Ant-Man is a great example. In the comic book, he is this abusive, manipulative womanizer. Just like he literally almost beats the Wasp to death in like one of the issues. Yeah. Just for backtalking him, you know. And then you've got Iron Man, who's a heavy drinker, but his storyline says that because because of the way he was born, he has something going on. I forget the exact series, but the alcohol is like 4 times more potent for him than it would be for anybody else.
Yeah.
So he develops the alcoholism, but it's heavier than it ever was. And then Thor, it may or may not, they never really reveal it in this series, but he may or may not actually be a god. He might just be a person who happens to have like superpowers,
Wow.
but he thinks he's an Asgardian warrior. So like, I don't know. I really thought that was an interesting take.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was a really interesting take on the
So
series.
there's a lot of story going on
And,
in this.
Yeah, and this series is based on that, but it doesn't have as heavy of the issues. You know,
Yeah.
you never really see Ant-Man get beating up Wasp or anything like that.
Yeah.
You get a hint of it. You get a hint of it being kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But you never really see the darker aspects. And like Thor, for example, they find Thor on a fishing vessel.
Yeah.
And he's protecting the whales from like the Japanese harpooners, and he just like launches a hammer at them and shit. It's funny. It's a funny way to find them and whatnot. Steve Rogers, same basic premise.
Yeah.
Comes from the past. You know, he's frozen in time, all that kind of stuff. It's really sort of told through his perspective. And then the Hulk, his story in this one is Bruce is trying to figure out a way where he can become the Hulk and maintain his intelligence.
Right.
And he does that at some point in the film, but it ends up backfiring on him, and then he sort of becomes the enemy after they destroy the enemies. Like once they get whoever it is that's fighting
Of course,
them,
the Hulk. They have to
yeah,
fight
the Hulk just kind
of
of
course.
changes. And
That's like
he
it's-
destroys Manhattan, dude. It's insane.
I feel
Yeah,
bad.
very,
for,
very
I
good
felt
film.
bad for Bruce.
Oh man, this is such a good film. We can move forward though. We can move forward definitely.
All right.
But this film just amazing.
Right, because you wanted me to watch that actually.
I did,
and
yeah,
I
I still
did. And I
want you to
borrowed
watch
you
that.
that. I borrowed that DVD for a long
Do you
time.
still
but I
have
never-
it?
No, I gave it back to
Yeah,
you.
give it back to me. You didn't watch it. That's
No.
offensive. All right.
It is offensive.
It's on Netflix though, so you're fine.
Oh, I'll watch it on there.
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch it soon.
Yeah.
I have to finish a series first that I'm watching right now. So
Cool.
But we'll talk about that another day. All right. So this is mine. This is my last one, I think. This is my last
Yeah.
one. And I was kind of trying to do like Superman, one Batman, then one something else. But then I ended up doing Return of the Joker, which I'm just going to count as a Joker movie. How's that?
Oh, that's technically not a Batman movie either. It's Batman
It's
Beyond.
Beyond. Okay, so
So,
that's
yeah.
even fine. Okay, so this is a 2-part. These are 2 movies. Two movies for this. Amazing.
Very, very close to the comic.
Almost panel for panel.
Yep.
Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Now, this is one of the first Batman movies that you see that the Joker isn't played by Mark Hamill,
Right.
but it's actually played by what is his name? He plays Benjamin Linus in Lost.
Oh,
He's
that's
also
who
one
that
person
is.
of interest. Yeah.
I know that Batman's actually played by
Can you look up the
RoboCop.
name for us, Brendan? I want to know what his name is.
Yeah, Batman's played by the guy who played RoboCop in this film.
Right, yeah. But the guy that played the voice of the... I actually thought he did a very good
Yeah,
job.
He did really well. And the Joker in this one, he's pretty insane. I mean, this is the Joker at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't care anymore. He's on a final rampage, and I mean,
doesn't
he just
usually care,
walks
but
through
he
and just
You didn't think that he could
killing
get
no
even
thoughts.
more insane.
yeah.
But he
literally
really
no-
does in
yeah,
this one.
No, it just-
Definitely.
And the best part about this is too, you'll see in the first film out of this 2-part series that the Joker's in an insane asylum. He's quiet. He's not talking. He's very mute. He's not aggressive.
Yeah.
A regular person stuck in it. He's stuck in an insane asylum, but he's very quiet. He's not like the Joker, right?
Yeah.
And it's not until Batman comes back
Yeah.
that he finally smiles and becomes the Joker again.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, I think so much had happened to him. There was so much history.
Yep.
And he just finally was just
The
like...
idea there, obviously, being that without Batman, there would be no Joker. So
because
Batman's
he had no
constantly
life.
fighting the Joker.
And then all of a sudden,
right.
he came back, and then the Joker came back.
Yeah, the
And
Joker
then
doesn't make a
I
move
think
until
Batman
Batman
realized
comes back.
that, too. And
Yeah.
I think that was one of the reasons that he finally just...
The Joker snaps his own neck.
No, I know. I'm just saying that,
in this
like...
film too. I thought that was a really cool way to kill himself off. Just kind of laugh himself into a neck snap, and that's it. Dead.
He
Very,
would
very
do that.
cool. Yeah.
Laugh himself to death.
And of course, you got the Superman at the end. And this is one of those films where I'm sorry to tell you,
Superman
man,
is a douchebag.
Superman is wrong.
No, he's... You know what? Truthfully,
He's wrong.
I'm going to tell you right now, when he feels that he's right about something, but he's wrong, they always make him look... And I'm telling you, in anything I've ever seen Superman in, when it's not about him,
Yep.
and he has like this certain perspective that the person that you're actually following doesn't have, Superman always looks like a big douchebag.
Well, he is kind of in this film,
and he is in a lot of other
he's-
films too. I've seen
he's
him
not
like that.
wrong. He's on the right side of the law,
Yeah,
but he's on the wrong side of morality, which is a really interesting sort of way
Yeah.
to take that.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that he has to go and try to kill Bruce. He doesn't like that at all.
No.
And you can see that it kind of hurts him, and you can see that he knows that he's on the wrong side, but he has to do what he has to do for America. You know.
Yeah. There's a lot of story in this. There's like
Yeah.
there's like 3 big stories in
Yeah.
here.
This is probably DC's best movie they ever made.
I think so too. And that's why I put it on there. And one of the reasons why I almost took it off just for Return of the Joker, and then I said, no, I can't take this off. This is like
Yeah.
wham bam.
this
I mean,
is
you
where
can't.
it's at. This is a
Yeah.
great
And
film.
I was debating against this one and the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Batman and Under the Red
The
Hood.
other one that's really good is the Year One. I really
Year
enjoyed
one was
One.
actually very good. I
think
liked
Year
that
One
one.
would be good, and then
But
you
I
watch
think
this
all
from
the
there, and
Batman
you
ones
just-
have been
you're all
pretty
set.
good. But I think it started. I think the best DC movie that they had come out with, because they were all like kind of like subpar.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until until the Red Hood came out, Batman Under the Red Hood,
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, now their movies are going to be good. And I could
Yeah, you know what I noticed is I'd been to a couple of Comic Cons prior to that movie coming out.
Yep.
And you got the Jokers and whatnot, but what you started seeing after that movie came out is that now every year there's at least 2 or 3 Jokers that will not only bring themselves, they'll bring like a hammer
Yeah.
so that they can beat, and then they also have like a Robin that's like a pillow
Yeah.
that they can beat to death in the middle of the stage, in the middle of like the convention. They'll literally at random times you'll see a Joker throw down a Robin and just start beating him to death. From that scene, because that's such a brutal scene.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that back, because that happened in the 80s. That was not new
yeah.
content, but people saw it as new content with the new film, and then sort of became common knowledge, and it's kind of it's fun to see. I mean, it's not the best thing to see in the world, you know, it's something getting brutalized, but it's neat to see that sort of to have the Joker.
Oh, definitely.
Do that, you know.
Definitely. All right, let's move on. This is the last one, I think.
Oh, Doctor Strange. That's right. I chose Doctor Strange. That's another fantastic film. Have you seen this one? Dude,
Sure.
you gotta catch up.
I haven't watched the Marvel ones. I
You gotta
just
catch up on the Marvel stuff.
I
So,
know.
do you know anything about Doctor Strange?
sure.
Okay.
Remind me,
just
because
enough.
I do know some stuff about him, but
Tell me what you know about him, and then we're gonna go.
I can't right now. I mean, I know I've seen him in things, and
Yeah.
I know I've read about him and stuff like that. But right now, I'm drawing a complete blank. So
Okay.
if you can remind me, then
So,
I can chime
Doctor
in.
Strange, maybe not in the comic book world right now, but he's generally known as the Sorcerer Supreme. Okay, which means that he's the ultimate sorcerer. His storyline, and this is an origin story. This movie, when it comes out, it's an origin story, and it tells you like
Which
how he
usually
becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. And the idea is that he's a doctor. Okay, one of the greatest brain surgeons in the entire world. But one day he develops a tremor in his hands after an accident.
Yeah.
Okay, so now his hands are constantly shaking. So now he can't. He's no longer able to operate. So he sort of goes into this deep depression, starts drinking, and he quits his job, loses his job, starts losing everything, and he just doesn't know what to do with his life anymore. You know, very depressed. And he gets this message from somewhere that he should go in, or he like runs into like some spirits or something like that. I forget exactly how it happens, but he ends up going on a spiritual journey, and he ends up going into like the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Okay, and he goes to the top of this mountain. And at the top of this mountain is basically a bunch of monks, more or less. Okay, and they teach him like how to harness powers and whatnot. And they teach him how to cure his disease that he has. You know, the shaky hands and whatnot. And then he eventually has to go on this epic quest with these other warriors, and he has to destroy Dormammu, who's like that's sort of the evil, that's his enemy.
Right.
And when he does, he becomes a Sorcerer Supreme. And this film is about that journey. It's about that path that he takes, those choices he makes. And it's a very, very good film.
I'll have to
really
watch
do
it
enjoy
too.
it. Yeah, definitely have to watch that one.
So before we end,
Yeah.
I have a question for
I have
you.
an answer for you.
Good stuff. Do you think that would you rather watch the Marvel movies than the DC movies?
That's not a fair question, because really, if I'm going to watch a film, I'm going to watch a superhero film, and it really can depend. These are two different universes, you know.
Yeah, and
I
they're also
really
kinda two
enjoy
different-
these. Really enjoy these Marvel films, I really
Yeah.
do. But I also enjoy the DC films. I'm not as traversed in the DC world as I am in the Marvel world. You know,
Yeah,
I
and I'm
understand that world more.
by to
Yeah, but I do still enjoy a DC film. Like, there's no question about it. I love, like, Batman's somewhere that everybody knows. Everyone knows who Batman is. Everybody gets the basic concept, and I know probably a little bit more than some people do.
Yeah.
In terms of Batman, maybe a little bit on Superman. I'm not as traverse as you are on that character, but I know at least enough about him that they make entertaining films. And I like movies like Flashpoint, which we hadn't gone over, but I like those movies because then I can see. I can learn a little bit about the Flash. I can learn a little bit about these characters.
Yeah. I think the Justice League movies are pretty good. I definitely think the best Justice League movie was Crisis on Two Earths.
Okay.
I really liked that one.
That
I also
was like the anti-heroes, right?
Yeah, actually, no, I didn't mean. I think it's Doom. Definitely Doom.
Doom was good.
Doom
was good. It was more Batman oriented.
Yeah.
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 But that was a good
But
film.
it was a good one. I liked that one. All right, so we're going to move on.
Moving on.
Don't swipe yet. Actually, swipe, because I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about next. Talking about Bioshock.
No,
This is we're off of top 6, by the way. Off of top 6.
Off top 6 and on to Game of the Week.
Game of the Week. Here we go. Game of the
Have
Week.
you been playing anything new?
No, I'm back to school full time, by the way.
School full time. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also rehearsing and
So you got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I started a game on Sunday, and I haven't had a whole lot of time myself. But Sunday I had some time. I had the day for the most part for myself, and so I started Bioshock. I have a couple of games at home that I actually have probably about 25 games at home I haven't started that I really want to. There's 3 that I really want to play through though. And that's Bioshock.
Yep.
Batman, the new Batman movie,
Origins,
the Origins, and then I also have The Last of Us, which I'm really psyched about. But I never finished Uncharted 3, so I feel like I gotta finish that first.
So you haven't started Last of Us yet?
Haven't started Last of Us yet.
Oh man, I've played a good amount of that game.
Yeah, all I hear is good things, man. It got Game of the Year for almost every category.
You can't get. I think it's one of the best games that was ever made. Ever.
Dude, do you like Naughty Dog then? You like that developer. Have you played the other games by them?
Probably.
Okay. So if you enjoyed that game, if you get the time, play the Uncharted series. Because, dude, if you like Indiana Jones, this is like modern day Indiana Jones, but Nathan Drake is such a better character. He's like just a... Well, maybe not. Indiana Jones is pretty classic. I had to rethink that for a second there. But he really is. Nathan Drake is on par with that character at the very least. He's very... interesting, very cool character, and he does the treasure hunting, and you kind of go through like world spanning kind of it's the same developer, so you can tell everything they do is high quality. They've always done high quality films. But anyway, so let's move on to Bioshock. I decided Bioshock was what I was going to start. I picked this up about a month ago for $12 on the Xbox sale.
Yeah,
it's been sitting in my hard drive ever since, and I finally picked it up, started playing it. Now, I've played through the other Bioshocks. Have you played any of the Bioshock series?
Not yet.
A lot of them have a lot of political satire in them. There's a deeper message overall. They're first-person shooters.
Yeah.
This one is fantastic. I've only gotten through about 5 or 6 hours of it so far. In the original games, you play as like a mute character. You go through and you go through this underworld city called Rapture, and it takes place in the 50s in the original series, and it's in this like destroyed utopian world. Very, very cool series overall. This one takes place in the early 1900s. So I think it's like 1913 or maybe even be like 1908. Very, very early. But it takes place on this city that sits above the clouds. It's all running on steam power, and it's all like sitting above the clouds. It's called Columbia. And it's off the port of Maine is where you go on. So you start off and you're going on this lighthouse, and you go up to the top of the lighthouse and you're looking for somebody. It's like you're a private eye is what you're playing, and this character's a little bit more developed. He's talking and stuff as you're going through, and you end up going to the top of the lighthouse and basically knocking on a door. And when you knock on a door, you see like in the sky, you see like red lights come out, just start flashing all over the sky, and you're like, what the hell's going on? So then you go in, and then a chair appears at the top of the lighthouse. So you sit in the chair, and then this like container comes down around you, and it shoots you up into the air, right? And then you go flying, and you go flying up to the top, and now you see the city.
Yeah.
And you can tell it like you drop, and then a parachute hits, so you kind of drop, and then you're kind of like floating down, and you land in the city. And this is at first, for the first hour or so, it's really just sort of you walking through the city, trying to get to this certain place in the city.
Yeah.
And it seems like the perfect American city. Like this, everything's like George Washington,
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin are sort of the saints of this world. Like everything's based around them and the founding fathers.
Right.
And then you start to see little ripples. Then you start to realize that everyone in this world is white. Everyone in this city is white. And then you start to see segregation. Like you start seeing that there's a spot for whites and there's a spot for blacks.
Oh, Jesus.
And then you start being okay. So, and then you start seeing at some point that you see a painting and it's got John Wilkes Booth shooting the president. But it's got a halo around John Wilkes Booth, and it's got the President Lincoln has like devil horns. So like you start to see that it's an almost perfect world that's just it's critically flawed though, and that they believe that it's the perfect world for the white man. So up here slavery is allowed, and the way that they do that is they take slaves or they take black people from jails and stuff down below, and then they have them come up top to work for them, and they don't pay them basically. They slavery,
right?
Indentured servitude, more or less. And so, like, you just sort of start seeing this world start crumbling before your eyes, and then at some point you become discovered as a prophet of some sort that's supposed to take down Columbia, because you've got some kind of marker in your hand, and that's a symbol in their text that says this person will come and they'll destroy them, and you have no idea what the hell's going on. Even though when he's saying, he's like, I don't know. You like when you see a painting at one point of your hand, and he looks at it, he goes, "That's weird," And then once they finally discover him, now the whole fucking city's out to get you. They're all coming to kill you. But what's cool about this is you get the weapons of your first person shooter. So you've got like a machine gun, your pistol, your shotgun, your RPG, that kind of stuff. But then you also have. They're not plasmids in this one, but they're similar. It's the same idea. You drink these tonics, and these tonics give you superpowers. So like now you've got like you might have an electric ability. Another one that you can do is you can call upon a murder of crows, which when you do that, you'll drink it, and then you summon crows that will literally attack people, and eat and pick them to death, or you might have fireball, or you might like the electric one's common. There's one that's called the bucking bronco, which is like you launch that, and it's sort of like if you get kicked by a horse, you get launched. Yeah. It's the same idea, except it's just pure air just coming at you and that lifts you up. So yeah, it's a very, very cool. And then as you finally get to get into this world further, you're there to try to rescue this girl that's there. You're supposed to grab her for some mob bosses down below. You're contracted for hire because you were a heavy gambler, and now basically they went, look, well, we're either going to take your life, or you can go and you can get this girl for us. You can bring her back. So you go and you find this girl. And she has this ability to rip open, like, tears in time. Like, she'll see, like, a rip in time, and she can rip it open. She'll, like, pull something from another world. So she might pull open a tear, and it'll be Paris. Right? And she can walk in briefly, but only briefly, and then the tear closes. So it's sort of a neat ability that no one else has, and so she's been locked up in this tower, basically, and you go and you rescue her. But what's cool about this is in a lot of games, like let's say The Walking Dead, okay, you've got your companions are always sort of people that you have to watch out for. They're really, you've got to be careful with them, you've got to protect them. Yeah. Whereas in this game, you don't have to do that. If anything, she's protecting you through the whole thing because she can rip, tears in time, and she'll throw you new ammo.
I always enjoyed, like, when just for an example, I play some of the Harry Potter games every once in a while, because when I was younger, like the PC games, like actually they had the PC Harry Potter games, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and GameCube. Mm-hmm. They had like 4 different, and PlayStation, and all different. Every single platform was a completely different game.
Yep.
And every single one was really good. Like they had the RPG. They had the regular adventure, and then they had a platformer, and then they had a puzzle, and they were all around the same storyline, obviously, because it was based off of that same movie. Yeah. But they were also very good. So I used to play them. But one of my most favorite things about those movies was that they'd be like, okay, you, Harry, and Ron, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, I want you guys to do that. And it's like, okay, all right, Harry, we'll wait here. You go get those things. But he just told us to go. Okay, I'll go. And you always it's like, hey, I'll cover you. No, you won't. You'll just sit there.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you get those companions in video games. Typically, they're
It's like the
either
most
you have to
pointless
protect
things.
you have to protect them, or they're not really smart. They really
They're
can't
just
do anything.
there for background. Yeah.
Whereas
they don't
this
do anything.
character is she's very capable. You know, like
Yeah.
I said, if anything, she's protecting you by ripping open tears in time, and
Right.
if you're running low on ammo, she'll like scavenge the world and try to go find some. And every once in a while, even when you're walking around, she'll find money and she'll flick it at you. She'll be like, "Hey, you need some money?" Ping, and you're like, "Yeah, all right, can you put that away?"
Yeah,
Like,
and I
perfect.
think that's such a great thing. Like, I mean, and I'm not going to go into it because you haven't played it yet, but
Right.
The Last of Us, that is one of the best things about the game.
Oh, the same
is
idea.
Is that there's, well, and you always have the girl with you.
Right, it's you and the girl, basically.
You and
It's
the
a
girl,
pair.
but every once in a while you will add somebody to your team
Mm-hmm.
who will be there with you in certain parts of the adventure, and they also help you.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
always
really
nice
cool.
to get that. It feels refreshing when they're actually capable characters.
You need
know?
that, especially when it's nice when, especially because sometimes it feels like a nuisance, or I end up kind of hating the characters that are with me when I'm like, you know what, I'd rather you not even being here.
Yeah.
Because you're just in my way. I also hate when they're in your way. When you're going to do something
Mm-hmm.
and then they walk in front of you, and you're like, can you? I want to.
Yeah,
and then you
that's
want
the
to go.
worst.
You want to
man.
go
You get
around
like stuck
them.
in a door or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, move, please.
Yeah.
And then you
that's
can't
the
even
worst.
move them. You
yeah.
can't
well,
even
that's
move
like
them.
in Pokemon. Like
it's
like
awful.
they're like you doom doom doom
Yep.
doom doom, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go around, and then right as you go, they move forward, and then you're like, seriously? Like, I'm just trying to leave.
Yep.
It's like the most aggravating
it's
thing.
one of the more aggravating things.
Yeah,
in
I
games.
think that's one of
I
my
agree.
yeah,
Agree.
definitely.
We can move forward though.
Yeah, definitely.
Bioshock Infinite again, not finished, but I would definitely
I
recommend.
think we're
playing
on for
it.
movie of the week.
So.
Here we go.
Oh,
I
I
Frankenstein.
All right,
Another
so
thing that I did not see.
I saw this last night, and not a bad film. Not a bad film. The action scenes, badass,
Yeah,
freaking awesome. Yeah,
like really
definitely.
good choreographed well,
Like,
or like special effects,
Just
or
a special.
what?
It's very CGI, very CGI. But
Is
overall,
it like high profit though? Like, so that's like
it's
good
very
CGI?
high quality. It's very high quality. It's very nice. It's very fun. This is a fun movie. It's not. It doesn't take itself too seriously. You know, it's about.
Is it kind of like the same lines of like Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Probably similar to that. Yeah, I actually didn't see that, which I really want to, but I haven't seen it. I know
Yeah.
it's a travesty. What do you want me to do?
It's all right.
So
anyways, it just
Dude, I
seems
think
like
I think
that.
it's gonna be awesome.
Or
So,
like Van Helsing. It kind of reminds me of
Van Helsing's a great example, actually.
Okay,
Yes.
you are welcome.
Or like Underworld is based on the people that did Underworld. You can feel that kind of vibe.
Right.
It's
yeah.
got the idea is
looks
that
like
there are
that.
two species
What did it say?
vying for the fate of mankind. Okay, there's the gargoyles, which are essentially angels, but they're not. They're gargoyles. And then there's the demons.
Yeah.
And if you watch Angel, did you ever watch Angel? Okay. Do you remember the second season of Angel when he turns into a full vampire when they go to
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kylie
That's
or whatever
great.
it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when they meet Fred.
That's what the demons look like.
All those.
Like it's dead on. The spikes on the side, like it is an exact
Oh, wow.
duplicate.
I wonder if they did that on
Yeah,
purpose.
and when they show that, I literally and nobody else got it. Obviously, I'm watching with like 3 other people. No one else gets it, but I'm like, that looks like Angel, and they all look like that. They got the spikes in the face. It's just
that was a great little mini series they did. That was like 4 episodes.
It was
I
3
think.
episodes.
3 episodes.
last 3 episodes.
That's
Yep. It was the
that
same
was
season
a long arc.
where they did that, and then Buffy died in that season.
Yes.
We should do Buffy and Angel next time. That's what we're doing next time. So that's
Yes.
fun. So spoiler alert, that's what we're doing next time because I can talk about that for fucking hours. All right. So anyways, I Frankenstein. So you've got the gargoyles versus the demons, and then you've got this character, Frankenstein's monster. In this he's called Adam, and he is sort of stuck in the middle. He doesn't have a soul, so he's technically not good, but he also is not evil. He's just sort of there, and he's the only one of his kind, of course. And it takes place about 200 years after Frankenstein dies, after Victor Frankenstein dies. Okay, it takes place in common day now. He finally comes out of hiding. Frankenstein, for whatever reason, his monster goes into hiding, and at some point he decides to come out of hiding. And what he does is he just goes and he starts killing demons. Okay, so that's the basic premise behind it. This pisses off the gargoyles. Gargoyles get upset at him. Now he has to choose a side. He doesn't really choose a side. The gargoyles it's just, the storyline not great. Not great.
It didn't.
He
seem
does
like
a lot of brooding. That face right there never changes in the entire film. If anything, you see how upset he looks there? He looks more upset at some points. It's ridiculous. And the other thing is, at one point he mentions he's a corpse from or he's built from 8 different corpses. You know, because Frankenstein was supposed to be like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and he's got something like it said 16 different parts from 8 different corpses or something like that. But he does this while he's shirtless, and you're like, that is all clearly the same body. There's no like one arm's not. Yeah, they don't even bother. They just they scar him up. See how his face is scarred? That's all he gets. So no, this is one body. You can clearly tell, and that it bothered me. It didn't bother anybody else. I don't think, but it did because and he says it like it's literally as he's looking like he's shirtless. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm a corpse from 8 different bodies or something," and you're like, "Really?" Because that all matches. They didn't even try to off color.
They had his shirt off, and no one would even thought of it.
Yeah, they couldn't. They could have done something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something would have been better than nothing. But it looks like they didn't even try. All they really did was they showed a scar. You know, he's scarred up, which is fine. All right, dude's scarred up, but they make him like with the scars. It's sort of like this sexy hot scars that he's got cut across him and whatnot. And you're like, and the whole time he's like, "I'm a monster," and you're like, bro, you've got a better body than fucking anybody I know, so you're good to go if you're a monster. Like, what the fuck?
You're a sexy fucking monster.
Even the blonde that he's with is like, yeah, you're a monster. Ravage me, please. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Overall, though, this film as a whole, worth seeing. I'd probably wait. Well, I mean, I saw it in IMAX at Jordan's.
Yeah.
And they've got that huge IMAX screen, so there it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're not a moviegoer like I am, probably wait for the video or wait for it to come on Netflix. It'll be there.
The only 2 movies, actually, the only 3 movies, I think there's 3 movies that I thought were worth seeing in IMAX, and I saw them in IMAX. Mm-hmm. And that was, I'm going to say just as one is the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2.
Okay.
Saw those. Saw Avatar.
Yep.
And Batman Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight series is fantastic in IMAX.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw them both in there. It's just... The Dark Knight was freaking...
Oh, it was so good.
But I remember being in there, and I remember the first scene, they just open... When the robbers are going down into the bank, and they just open that up in the IMAX, I was blown away. I was like, this is fucking intense.
It was one of the first really big movies that I had seen there, because really all I had seen there in the IMAX was like, you know, the Polar Express, which they bring back like almost every year. You can see the Polar Express almost every year for Christmas, because it's like the first IMAX film.
Yeah.
If I remember, it was like the first one that was ever made for IMAX. And then, you know, there's like tons of other, you know, and I saw a little other kid stuff, you know, but those were like when I saw Avatar in that, I mean, like, I saw it in 3D. Fantastic. Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, that was when I was like...
I saw that at Chunky's, and I didn't even see it in 3D. I've actually never seen that movie in 3D. How offensive is that? People tell me it's offensive. I'm like, whatever.
I mean...
Great film, though. Good film.
If you don't see it in IMAX
I don't think it needs
3D,
4 more sequels, but...
No, it totally does not. That's something that's uncalled for. I wouldn't mind another sequel, but I think that's about it. Maybe 1 or 2.
I think that if we're going to get a sequel from James Cameron, it should be more Terminator, which we're getting anyways, but we should get more and more Terminator, and then more. Terminator.
And then more Terminator.
Yeah, and then when they're done with that, give me some more Terminator, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
I have not enjoyed any of the Terminator movies. The only one that I was never really satisfied with was the 3rd one.
Yeah. You know what? That's sort of a fun romp. I saw where they were going with it.
Still good.
You know, because what they did was they went, the first one, Schwarzenegger's evil. Second one, Schwarzenegger's good. So in the third one, they actually managed to figure out a way to make Schwarzenegger good and evil at the same time. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like, and I know that the story overall is freaking terrible. It really is. But that one scene where he's talking to him, and he's like, and you know, John Connor's like trying to buddy with the Terminator, remembering him as a kid, you know, and then he's like, I killed you. And John Connor just kind of goes, okay, I'm just gonna sit over here then, away from you. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was a cool idea. It was a cool concept. It wasn't very well executed.
No, but
cool
I thought
concept.
all the movies were good. Even the last one, people were really unsatisfied with Salvation. I thought it was a great movie.
I thought Salvation was fun.
And we had talked about that before.
Oh my god, when Schwarzenegger comes on,
out. Yeah.
Just that the crowd. I've never heard it before. I've never heard it in the theater before. Everyone at the same time.
Yeah.
And you could hear it. Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, it was great.
We got one more thing to talk about.
Yes, we do. Roll that tape.
This is the new Turtles. What's your impression? Fucking terrible. That's my impression. That looks fucking awful. They look retarded.
Is that really?
Raphael literally looks like a fucking horror movie. He looks like he's coming from a horror movie. Look at Donatello has glass. I don't know. He's got 2 pairs of glasses.
Yeah, he has some sort of scientific ones. And
Mikey looks weird as hell. Like, why they gotta fuck this up? This is my series.
Is this literally what they're doing?
Yeah, no, this is them. This is
the poster?
Yeah, this is the poster for them.
Why?
This is the confirmed poster.
Why would they do this?
I know, right? I mean, I get it that they're trying to kind of go into a new age or, new concept, but it's the faces, like, look at Mikey. He looks like a woman almost. And then he's got lips. Why would he have lips?
Yeah, I actually thought it was a female.
Oh, man.
I thought it was a
God.
female.
Oh, look, I'll deal with the animation because the game that came out also had terrible animation. They looked actually pretty similar to this. So I was sort of afraid that they might. And they did. Fine. My problem is going to come if Michael Bay makes him look like this and then fucks up the characters. That's going to be it for me. I'll never see another Michael Bay film as long as I live.
Michael Bay hasn't been doing very well lately, so...
Not do nice things to him.
Although, what was that movie that he did during the... Was it during the early summer?
Bay? I don't know what he's done.
Oh.
After Transformers, I really stopped watching him.
Yeah, well, the first one was great. First Transformer was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
Second one was horrible. Third one was horrible.
This makes me nervous, dude. I mean, I get it. I can kind of see where they're going.
Yeah.
First of all, Donnie looks like he has a silver bow, which is sort of messed up. Raph looks like a woman. Raph actually he doesn't look too bad, but I don't know what the shades are for. Like, what do you think? We think we're in the 90s? We're not in the 90s anymore. I get that they're from the 80s, but that is retarded. Then he's got a bandana over that. Come on, man. He also looks like that dude would scare me. If he was coming out of me from the shadows,
he looks uglier than
myself.
the other ones. The other ones look like normal turtles to a certain extent, and he kind of looks...
Yeah, he just looks brutal. I don't know. I guess that's sort of what they're going for. You know what it kind of reminds me of, actually, is when they did the New Generation in the late 90s. They did a New Generation, which was like a live-action film. And they sort of looked the same because Raph had that bandana over the head there.
Yeah.
And then... I don't know, like the same thing with like this thing here and I don't know, man. I just hope that they don't fuck it up. I really do. I really, really like this. I really like these characters, and I can forgive the animation if the characters are decent. I mean, but you already threw Megan Fox in as April O'Neil. The only woman in Hollywood I don't want to fuck is the person you put as my gorgeous redhead. But, whatever. I can get over that. I can get through that. Then... You take them and they make them look like this. Like, you don't need to get very creative with it, man. There's a reason they work. They work to begin with.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate that I mean...
Like, what is it? He's got a necklace up there?
Yeah. I mean, just another reason to make him look like a female.
Raph does look like he's a lot bigger than the others, though. I mean, he looks a lot buffer. This is the first time, by the way, that I've really seen this. I mean, I saw it a little bit earlier today. Raph, you can tell, is scarred up a little bit.
He also has a big screen television to look at it, so he can just
I can really get into the details now.
Sorry for turning around too much.
Leo's got a bit of a scar on his lip down here, which might indicate some story. He's also decked out almost like a samurai. Does anybody else see that? He's got the samurai outfit on. That's kind of it's interesting. I mean, I can see where they're going. He's supposed to be the leader, so he's supposed to be the most.
We can only hope for the best.
Yeah, but but you can get a lot out of just this picture.
Yeah.
Donnie, for example, Donnie's got the bow up there, right? He's got the, it's like a metal bow, which, okay, maybe the stick, all right, I can understand maybe a stick doesn't seem as practical as a metal bow, it's fine. But then he's got, like, I don't know, what's the deal? He's got the glasses that are broken, so I think maybe the idea is to stretch across his face. So does that mean that he can't see as well, or they're just really trying to shoot for the nerd thing? Then they've also, if you see up here in the bandana, they've got some Asian symbols up there. They got some Chinese symbols up there. Probably Japanese because they're creators from Japan. And we haven't seen a picture of Splinter yet. So I don't know what the hell Strider looks like. But if this is any indication...
And Uncle Phil's not doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's dead.
He is dead.
So,
moment of silence.
I mean, the actors aren't bad. Man, just...
I know.
What is this? He's got a walkie-talkie in the back of his shell up here?
I don't know.
Oh, man,
all right. So let's move on. There's nothing else.
Look at that sign up there. That sign is retarded. Ninja Turtle sign. That is
That's
terrible. That's a terrible symbol. Why couldn't you just put it as the original symbol? That is the worst. Who did you pay to design that? That is freaking retarded. All right, you can go on.
All right.
That is terrible, though. It really
I think
is.
that's everything.
That's
Is there
it.
anything else that you wanted to talk about other than this? We've done enough on that, I think.
I just really hope they don't mess up my series. You know, I'm hoping that they I was hoping that maybe he does a decent job with it, and then we see a trilogy down the line. That'd be kind of neat. See a Turtle trilogy, new Turtle trilogy.
I agree. We'll see.
You know?
We'll see.
But
I also am sad that they chose Michael Bay, but we'll talk about, you
actually
know.
they've got some. Oh, looks like they got some toys on the side there. Maybe you can get some impressions off of that. Looks like that's a Mikey Leo mask up there.
Leo Mask,
Yeah,
okay.
you've got some toys up there. So
I think we have to. I think we'll continue once like the trailer comes out. Then we'll have a good. We'll
have a real good discussion then.
We'll have it on here, even watching it while talking about it.
This is awful. Yeah, all right, you can do that.
Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Chad Moores. This is Jeremy Mullet. Thank you so much.
Doing something with the scales too. I can see that.
Thank you so much for coming in. As I said, don't forget to email us
so
at
angry, man. I don't know if I agree with that,
chadanmfilms@gmail.com, chadamfilms@gmail.com. That is spelled chadanmfilms@gmail.com. Don't
Yeah,
forget
I'd really
to
like
like
to hear
our
your opinion on
Facebook
this.
page.
Maybe you enjoy it, maybe you don't. I don't.
Jeremy.
I don't really like it. Yeah.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. That is terrible.